turn your animation like this into this. Today I'll show you 2 fast ways to make this happen. One beginner friendly and one professional ready. And yes, I did steal that from Morrison for this video. We'll start with beginner friendly and move our way up to more advanced. First we have Flow Anim. Now I may have said this is beginner friendly and it may still be, but this is a little bit more advanced still for those users. This tool allows you to easily use UI controls to edit and change your animation. You just apply it to one of your controls on your node and customize those controls on those modifiers, and you have yourself a super easy and custom animation that starts at the start of the composition and will go back out at the end of the composition. This is similar to Mr. Alex Tech's Magic Animate tool. It gives you the same idea of having that procedural animation without any actual keyframes, but it's not as fully fledged as Magic Animate. This is just the building blocks, so you can kind of make your own Magic Animate tools. You can actually see a few of those tools that have been made with this modifier pack down in the description down below. Small shameless plug, this was actually my very first script I ever made, so it's gonna get some updates this year. Let me quickly show you how it works. First, you just select your node and open up the UI. Then you just search for the control you want to add and select it from the menu. You want to search for the control ID, not for the control name, because the IDs differ from the name sometimes. Then you have this text box right here that you're able to customize with whatever name you want to put in here. This is the name that all of your modifiers for this animation are going to be called. Everything that's going to be controlling this one slider is going to be called this. Once you have the name set, you can just press add and it will add it to that control. To actually see all the modifiers, you'll want to click off and then click back on to the node. This is so that you can actually see the curves pages. Otherwise, the curves will be hidden from you. So we have all these controls right here. We have these top controls. These control the actual animation itself, meaning what is the slider going to be set to. So we have the start and end number. That is what it's going to be at the beginning and end of your comp. So at frame 0 and the final frame of your comp, that's what it's going to be. Then we have the rest number. This is the number that's going to be for the duration of your comp. Then below this, we actually have our solid animation controls. This is what actually handles the procedural part of the animation. You can set how long animations are and when they come in. So we can set it differently for the in and out animations, because we have 2 sets of animations happening for this comp. And then we also, on these other 2 modifiers, have access to the modifiers for anim curves. This allows you to have access to the actual curves part of the animation. But that's it. You can add as many of these to this comp as you want, and it will work independently of one another. You can also do some fancy stuff. I have an example on the screen right here of my screen utility tool. It's fantastic. It uses anim utility as the base, and it uses it to animate a bunch of different controls all throughout a bunch of different nodes. It's really powerful. It can be slow, but it's really great for the beginners who don't quite understand animation yet and are still getting used to actually seeing how things are working in the edit page. This is also fantastic for you template builders who want to use this to build your own templates. And then we have the professional solution, which is Log by Henry LA. This is actually somebody who's on our Discord who does a lot of really cool stuff, but recently got into doing some curve stuff and then made this amazing curve tool. But Log allows you to actually customize already existing keyframes and just set the curves for them. If you've ever used After Effects, it is very similar to Flow over there. But the first thing you see when opening up the UI is the curve window. You have 2 handles that you can actually move up and down, left and right, all throughout this box. This allows you to customize your curves just like how you would in the actual Fusion page in the spline panel, but in a nice compact menu. The spline panel is really nice, but it can also be very annoying to maneuver and do this for multiple curves or apply the same curve to multiple things at once. It can be a huge hassle to actually use the spline editor. So this exists to make this way easier. You can actually take these handles and move them outside of the box to get extra crazy animations, to do your bounce animations or your boings or whatever you want to do really fast and simple. So you have to set up your animation, and you can also go to the numbers page to set up the specific curve you want. This allows you to put in the actual values for these handles and not just move the handles around with your hands. This is great if you have a library of existing saved curves on a website somewhere. It's fantastic for being able to load them into this. And one page over, you actually see the presets page, which you're able to load and save your own presets. So it's really, really easy to make it all your own and customized. Back on the paste page, we have a few you paste two up. We can paste to the current keyframes, which is just the keyframes that the playhead is currently in between. So if your playhead is not in between two animation keyframes, it's not going to actually put a curve there. You can also paste to all keyframes. This is not all keyframes on all nodes, but just the keyframes on the node you have selected. So not just the active, but everything that actually can be keyframed will get the same curve applied to it. And then we also have the all keyframes except for the current keyframes. That one you probably can guess what it means. And then finally, we can actually apply this to all selected nodes and all the keyframes on those nodes. So this is sort of more like what you can actually get from Flow. Once you hit paste, it's going to ask you either for the node, or if you have selected all chosen, it's going to paste it to all, and you're just ready to go. It's going to just animate whatever you select. It's fantastic. There's a small bug whenever you try to apply a custom curve onto a point control, so like a center control or pivot control, something like that, that has the two boxes. It gets confused and doesn't quite know how to handle the curve sometimes. So it can break your entire animation, but there's a way around that. Thankfully, Henry actually gave us a file in the packages with all the files you get from this, and it actually gives you a custom .setting file, which is a custom transform. This node literally just separates out the X and Y from the center point control and allows you to animate them with just simple screw controls instead of the point controls. So it makes it really easy to set up your animations with no much hassle. And to actually make this accessible from the Fusion page always, you can put this into your macros folder. You can actually search it with shift space to find exactly what you're needing. Both of these options are fantastic depending on whatever you need. Obviously, Flow Anim is much better if you're doing templates and macros, and Log is much better if you have a little bit of experience with keyframes and also just know what you're wanting to do with your animations. It's also good if you're a business or have a lot of clients that are businesses that have specific curve types they like to use. It's fantastic for that. Log is a brand new tool and available in the description down below at my referral link. I'll get a small kickback from this, but of course you'll be supporting Henry all the way. So go ahead and use that link, buy this tool, and share the love. But thanks for checking it out. I cannot wait to see what you guys make with this. If you want to see more videos just like this one and even more tutorials, go ahead and press the subscribe button down below to follow what our channel's up to. Also join our Discords, join in the conversations, and see what other developers are talking about in the industry. But I have a lot of fantastic videos on my YouTube channel, a lot of stuff that is coming this year as well. Go and check it out, and I look forward to seeing you there. Check out this video over here to learn what other people have been doing already in Davinci Resolve. It's fantastic. Or check out this video over here to see what I've been up to this year already. P.S. It's a video game in Fusion. Happy scripting.